Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. As you can see, we have less than a minute till the Vault of Time is open, and we're going to start this thing off right. Now, this is, I believe, the 15th season that we've been doing the Vault of Time. So if you haven't joined us before, if you haven't done it before, get ready. It is a really big, now this, of course, is the beta version. This is the trial version. This is where you can test formations. This is where you kind of refine all of the skills and abilities that you have within the Vault of Time or the Abyssal Expedition itself. Yes, it does have two different names, but when we get in here, we're going to be choosing one of three specific classes. Now, what we're looking at is the tanking class. It is either going to be the warrior class or it is going to be the mage class. Now, the ranger class, even though it is pertinent to the Vault of Time, the ranger class is actually going to be picked up by the relic soul that we do get later. Now, the goal here is to take the highest tier that you can while connecting the maps. That is really the two biggest things. And I know I don't think this is going to pop up at 0. We have to hop out. We have to go back in. This should have the button in here to go ahead and hop in. And there we go. I don't think it's going to make you choose north or south. So there we go. So we start on the side. Now you'll notice right here, Divine Water. So there is Divine Water in this. Automatically donate Divine Water when it is full or when you have it. So this is our first node. And I want to, again, kind of show you and kind of look around in here. So we have our titles up here. This is how you gain more slots. This is how you gain the ability to get more relics. When you're leveling up, you will get more quests to get more relics, so on and so forth. Settlements, these are what we're going to be taking. Now, right off the bat, you want to hop in here and you want to throw a unit into this Village 1. You'll notice that it does turn Greyborn because that was the requirement for Village 1, and this gives you a bonus. So when we put a specific type of hero in there, it gives us the ability to get a bonus when we cultivate it of 20%. Cultivation in here is super important. Not only does it fall into some of the quests that we do have in here, you want to make sure you're doing this. Now, when we talk about the Blessed Relics, like I said, you're either going to go with the warrior, you're going to go with the tank, or you're going to go with the mage. When it comes to the ranger, you could start with the ranger if you chose to, but ultimately the ranger is going to be that relic soul that we do get later. And the subcategory, which again, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go tank. Subcategory you're going to do is going to be support or substance in here. This is going to be your secondary one. Now, when you're going in here, you want to pick one like we talked about and only focus on building one. All of the relics, all of your resources are going to be pumped into one. In here, I'm going to do Dura's Fortitude, and you can see they do have a different value right off the bat. We don't have any relics. We don't have anything. So I'm going to actually go ahead and pick up one of these relics because I know personally I'm going in and I am doing tank. Now, when you come in here, and if you want to start in tank, level 3 is the big one. Heroes receiving this blessing are immune to negative effects caused by settlements. This is huge when you start making a little bit more progression. If you're newer, the tank is pretty easy to get through there, and we have some really strong tanks. I'm going to take a second one in here, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Swordplay Bracers. This is going to give me the ability to take tier 2s, to take tier 3s. Now, when we start looking at the map itself, you can see we're here in the north side. I believe we're pathing to the south side. Again, this is going to be a little off. This is going to be a little different in the build because on the test server, they were running it as the test server. On this server, the actual official server, they did change up a couple things in here. So we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like. They did change up the map a little bit. Some of the parts that were blocked, they unblocked. There was, again, quite a few changes. And you'll notice there are gates in here. We have artifacts in here, bosses, Divine Water. There are a lot of things to collect within this version of the Abyssal Expedition. But again, kind of thinking of where we're at, we're going to the bottom or going to the south. This is what we're going to be looking at. And you can also see that there are a couple different players that already hopped in here. And looking at the level, so heroes, there is a very specific way to do this. This is quiet time. When you first hop in, quiet time gives you 4 hours before you actually start doing everything. So you can come in, you can set formations. In here, we are going to slot, we are going to use the tanks. Remember, we're doing tank. We're going to do the awakened version of Lucius. Now, I recommend if you come in here, honestly, some really solid tanks. Lucius is one. Shamira is a really solid tank. If you did go warrior, you could do Athalia. You can do the OG version of Brutus. And we're actually going to leapfrog. So what that means is once we run our stamina to 0, we are going to go to the next one, the next one, the next one, so on and so forth. And then also when it comes to the beast, we are not going to use the beast at all. Looking at the formations, looking at everything we are doing, we are not going to use the beast at all through normal attacks. We're not going to use it on tier 1, village 3. We're not going to use it on tier 6, tier 7, tier 8. All 5 of these beast slots, all 5 of these in their entirety are going to be saved for the boss formations at the very end. Now, Star Dawn players can hop in here. They can support some of the players in here by going in and kind of building this up. Star Dawn is going to give you a lot of advantages. Now, one thing to note is if you are a spectator, if you are a Star of Dawn, this takes the 10 largest players in the guild. You have the ability to support them. They do get increased stamina. They also recover it faster, which is awesome. And you do get some extra unlocks as we progress further. Really, really big for a guild to do the Star of Dawn and be able to do the Star of Dawn, just kind of looking where they're at. Now, you can see a couple other players have started to go ahead and hop on. Now, our goal in here is tier 3, is tier 4. Those are going to be the big ones, but looking at this, we want to make sure that we're connecting. Even right here is our first Divine Spring. We want to make sure that we're connecting player to player to player. You can see even some of these are starting to kind of path over. So I'm going to start pathing down. And again, we are going to be using Lucius, and we are going to be using only Lucius within here to go ahead and do this. Now, if we can keep and get this to 3 stars, which a majority of the time with Lucius, once he ults, it's pretty much game over. If we get 3 stars, we are only using 50% of the stamina. So right here, it does give us 6 stamina back. With the 6 stamina refund, it was 12 to attack. So we did get some pretty decent stamina back. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to path down to the south is what we're looking to. So we should be able to burn through this all in the entirety. Again, when we get to the end of the 4-hour cooldown time, we are hoping, and where we want to be and where we want to sit is having a total of tier 3s and tier 4s in the entirety is where we want to sit. That's where we want to be. And I'm hoping going through and taking the tier 3s every now and then, you can put it on airplane mode. You can put it on, pause. You can put it on reset. Resetting it is going to cost you stamina. It does cost, I believe it is 1 stamina. But looking in here at a village, it seems like it's green. It should be pretty easy to get through here, even if we're dealing with Iran, even a couple other ones. Some of the ones that have a problem in here, and it might be this one, once we get an ult, usually we can take it down pretty quick. But the problem that we see is Oden. This is the massive one. Usually we can win this one because, again, we take out some pretty good targets. We're not going to beat it in this 30 seconds just because of Oden. Now, this is one 7654C. We can't get Oden, so we're going to go ahead. We can try this one more time if we do the bottom. The thing in here is Oden. This is the absolute one that you have to be careful of because this is the one where if we get close enough right off the bat, we can take it out. And I'm hoping I don't have to burn through 2 stamina. But again, this is one that is, it's the trial version, so I'm okay with it. If we can get an ult, boom, there we go. Again, target's dying pretty quick. Should be able to get Oden down in this one, which we do. Again, might have lost 2 stamina in there, but we didn't get the reset, so we took the tier 3. Oden is a nightmare. The other one that is really tough to deal with is Orthos. If you're dealing with Orthos, if you're fighting Orthos, Orthos is another one that is very, very difficult to deal with just because of the delay, just because of everything that Orthos does bring. Now from here, we are just going to path a little bit further down. I'm going to pick up another one of these tier 3s, and I'm almost wondering where some of the other players, see, you can see they're starting right here on this back row. I think there are going to be players that are starting down in this bottom half, which we can see them kind of sprinkled all through here. So once we have all 70 players dropped in here, we'll have to see exactly what it is. But again, the goal that we are, number 1, you want to go ahead and you want to link together with other players. Goal number 2 going in here is taking those tier 3s off the bat. Now you have to make sure also that you do not break the chain. So within the first 24 hours, what we mean by that is you can see both of these players are linked together. If a player drops one of these villages, if the player drops one of these tiers, they are actually going to break the chain. And if players come in at a later time, they are not going to be able to make progression through the camps. That is the reason why we're taking these empty resource stations, essentially waiting and going through a lot of the other content to make it a lot easier to essentially, again, kind of go through here at a pretty quick pace, making sure that you're taking those tier 3s, taking the tier 4s, just based off what we have. Like I said earlier, though, this one is a little bit easier, a little bit less strenuous, just for the fact that we do have the ability, and this is the test. It is not going to be ranked, but this is the way to kind of start it overall. So guys, I hope it really helped for a lot of players that are brand new to the Abyssal Expedition, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.